Hey, this is John. I'm doing a reading here, just in general. Wanted to talk about a couple of different things. Today's my birthday, and I was having kind of a little existential day. Um, just dealing with restlessness. Um, kind of feeling bored, kind of feeling cooped up. Um, but that's, you know, all about perspective. So, one of the things I've been learning lately has been just about really trying to find the right connection with other people. So, I think what I'll do in general is just kind of talk about um, connecting with other people real quick, because I feel like that's something that's been really on my mind lately. Um, so in general, I mean that would apply to people who are um, trying to find friendship. Um, that can be, I think honestly that applies to relationships where you're trying to find romantic love, because I think that definitely friendship is a part of that. Um, um, so let's get started. So, um, one of the cards that first comes out to me is the card about the spider. The spider wants to tell you all the time, like, it's got its general area, I guess you could say, where it hangs out, but it's got these webbing, kind of like on the outside. And so the message is also a lot of times from the spider to say, like, while you're in the middle, where you're chilling and hanging out, um, you can be pretty sensitive to, that direct area where the web is. But a lot of times, you might think like a bug kind of crawls into the edge, and if the spider's in the center, it might not be as sensitive to it. So it's kind of telling you the story about the spider, like, try and actually keep your attention on the outskirts. And I feel like for making connections with people, especially when you're feeling bored or you're feeling restless, a lot of times it's because you feel like the connections that you do have or the experiences that you are having aren't enough. And a lot of times that's just a reflection of feeling like the connection that you have with yourself isn't enough. That you feel itchy, that you feel like the skin that you're in just doesn't quite. It just makes you feel kind of this sense of discomfort. You can be more agitated. You can have like a short temper, with people around you because you're feeling like drained. You're feeling like maybe yeah, there you go. So there you go. And that's funny. So, yeah, you can feel kind of irritable. You can feel drained. You can feel like maybe things aren't moving forward. You can feel like you're seeing or experiencing a lot of fakeness, or like things just being in shades of gray, not seeing that much color or pop, And if you're living life as an artist or as a creative person, you're definitely going to go through that on probably a regular basis. Part of being an artist is about finding new ways of creating, and it's an ever evolving process making art. You can look at some of the great ones, the ones that were able to adapt to the times, to really speak to the changes that were happening, but at the same time remain true to their nature, to their style, to their signature, And I'm just thinking of David Bowie, obviously, off the top of my head. But that's just because I'm a musician, so I'm just thinking of, some of the more influential people for me. And in reality, for something I was thinking about today was, um, I mean, I said it to, actually, I was talking with Rainbow Harmony. I was telling her, you know, what Snake would say. I said, you know, Snake would say, you know, you're feeling like the skin that you're in, you know, you just want to shed it. You're feeling the itchy feeling. So, a few tips, I guess I would say. First thing is really take a look around at the friendships that you have around you. Sometimes, first thing that's good to check is to check your dead weight. You don't want to be counting on being inspired by these people when they are questioning your decisions, getting you to explain yourself a lot, wondering if you're crazy. And you know, you want to take a look and have a really good assessment of the kind of people that you're surrounding yourself. You want to be around people that are inspiring naturally. You want to be around people that make you want to try, you know. Not like as in a codependent way where you feel like you have to be around them in order to be yourself, or all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you should be, you know, really having a good positive relationship with yourself, and out of that relationship with yourself comes inspiration. But what you surround yourself with will get in your head, and if you're going to choose, I would suggest letting the stuff that gets in your head be more positive things, more inspiring things, more mind-bending things, more stretching things, more challenging things. Challenging in a way that that is going to give you energy, not challenging in a way that drains you. A lot of people have jobs where you feel challenged and you feel pushed and you feel stretched, but you come home at the end of the day and you're more excited to sit down and turn on the TV and watch your favorite show. You're more excited to come home and tinker with a project, tinker with, you know, yeah, basically a project. So that's obviously not a good thing, and that's not a good sign if you're feeling like the job that you're in is challenging in that way that is draining. And there's a difference. Obviously, use discretion. Like some jobs, you feel like you're really inspired, and you know, occasionally you come home and it's been a long day. You know, maybe you randomly had to deal with somebody you didn't expect to, and it kind of throws you off, and that's normal. But if that's every day, you should be making plans to, like, and I mean making plans like as in like setting a date, or actively, when you're not at work, actively seeking out a different job, a job that is more inspiring, a job that takes you in the general direction of where you want to go. And if that means switching careers, don't be afraid of switching careers. It's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too this or that to make that kind of a decision. So I encourage you to get out, because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the 401k. It's not worth all of that crap that they are selling you. Is going to take you where you want to go. You want to go where you feel challenged in a positive way, in an inspiring way, in a way that gives you energy, in a way that helps you wake up in the morning feeling like you have a purpose, in a way that makes you want to love and want to give to other people. And I think you can just, like I said, just use your discretion. If you're coming home every day and it's not taking you there, you should be actively spending your time looking outside. That's the message of the spider, is to just kind of look for these signs that might be kind of on the outskirts of your perception. Taking a look around a little bit further, a little bit longer, to see if maybe there's something you've been missing. So another thing I wanted to say in general was making connections with people when you're feeling bored, when you're feeling like uninspired. Usually it's going to come from a place that feels like not enough. Start with being grateful. Start with recognizing what you do have. It's not about making yourself feel guilty, like, oh man, like I'm so stupid and I'm ungrateful and I don't recognize what I have. Don't beat yourself up over the head for it. Just it helps you get into kind of like the right start. It's like a nice push start. Having gratitude is always a really nice push start. So that when you do reach out to people to connect, you're not all grumpy. So what I would want to say is reaching out and making connections with people is hard. First things first is there's the risk of vulnerability, there's a risk of rejection, and that's gonna, and I hate to break it to you, that's always gonna be the case. It's always gonna be a risk, it's always gonna be there waiting for you. So it's up to you to begin engaging with it and overcoming that fear, having courage to recognize the value of connections with other people. It really is sometimes can be very lonely when you have a path that you feel is a strange one, is a unique one, and the best tip I can offer is to just be yourself, to put yourself out there, to take that risk, because to be honest, if you're looking for that kind of connection, a connection with other people that have, awakened to their purpose, they're putting themselves out there too, and you're not going to meet them unless you're, so to speak, putting the same stuff on the table, putting yourself on the table, recognizing that there's a risk and doing it anyways. And you want to be around people who are inspiring, so you got to give something in return. You got to be inspiring to other people, and the only way you're going to do that is by being yourself. And it's scary, and occasionally you'll get people who reject you, and that's just kind of part of it. Those are what Infinite Waters, the guy I like to watch a lot, he says, those are your no people. There's yes people and no people. No people are the ones that no matter what you do, you can't make them happy, and it's not going to help you to focus on trying to convince them or trying to explain to them why you're doing it. It's better to just move on to your yes people, the ones who are happy that you're here, they're grateful for what you're doing, and they see you for who you are, and your gifts. So I'm going to pull a couple cards, and then we'll see what they have to say about dealing with boredom and wanting to reach out and connect with people, because I feel like that's just kind of what's on my mind today. Yep, cool. All right, so so first things first, I'm noticing obviously the squirrel. Squirrel's always about having fun. Squirrel does plan. I mean, that's all about the nuts. Squirrel does definitely think about having fun. So you want to get out, if you want to meet people, don't think strategically with the ego. Well, if I want to meet this person, I would meet them at a place like this, and I would do this, and I would have a plan for what to say, blah blah blah. Be yourself has nothing to do with that. You want to just go where you think is going to be the most fun for you, and if that involves basket weaving, that's where you're going to obviously meet and make good connections with people who are also there to have fun. I'm going to pull up the cop because I like the guy a lot, and I always have a lot of connection with him, but my style with reading, I tend to like to read and then kind of see if anything pops out, because I kind of like how random it is that way. So give me 1 second. Yeah. So, Hawk's message is about signs. Um, from a higher perspective, a lot of the birds' messages tend to have to be about having a higher perspective because they fly high. They are up in the air compared to the other species on this planet, so they get a much higher perspective. They can see longer distances. They can see over hills. They can see on the tops of trees, and so the messages here is the hawk is definitely a messenger. So messages are all about whether or not you see them and are able to receive them and interpret them appropriately. That being said, if you are having a difficulty noticing signs in your life, if you're feeling like a little lost, if you're feeling a little bored, it's a sign to maybe if you've had kind of some signs that you've chosen in the past and for some reason they're not speaking to you anymore, it's a good idea to just maybe try picking another way of receiving signs. There are all different ways of receiving signs. I believe tarot is one way of receiving signs because I choose to allow them to speak to me, and through the book, through the method of drawing cards. That's just one way. There are many other ways that you can choose to receive signs to help you make choices, to help you notice opportunities, to help you notice in yourself when there is something bothering you, to help you notice when you have a situation involving other people, maybe how to behave, how to hold yourself, how to find peace, all those things. Signs are really big. So sometimes it's numbers, sometimes it's animals, sometimes it's colors, sometimes it's people, and words that they say to you. You could run into somebody, and if you're not looking for signs and you're not waiting for a word, you're just going to miss it, So sometimes that will help kind of bring back the color, so to speak, in your life. The next one is the skunk, which I really think he's kind of a funny one, because most people think skunks are stinky, right? But, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this kind of goes in line with what I was saying earlier. A lot of people, yeah. By the way, I'm using the Medicine Cards book. It's my second deck that I got. The first deck I got was the Wildwood Tarot, which actually Rainbow Harmony uses. It's by Jamie Sams and David Carson, with some really great illustrations done by Angela Wernick. I'm sorry if I said the name wrong. Skunk's message is all about how to attract, how to repel. Another message of the skunk is also for those who are trying to focus on their careers, trying to focus on their self-development. A big important message for those people is to not leak sexual energy. Don't tell people or give signs that you are available in that way if you are not. I know it's great to receive attention from the types of people that you're interested in, and that's great and all, but it's not a good idea to provide signals and messages to those people that you're available when you're not available. Not only is that probably not a good thing karmically because you can hurt people's feelings, but secondly, it's leaking your energy, and that energy, if you're trying to get your career or your business or your self-development in progress, that energy leaking is just going to slow you down. It's going to become a distraction. It's going to keep you from being able to focus. It's going to cause drama in your life. It's going to cause suffering in other people's life that's unnecessary. It's not like you can avoid causing suffering in other people's lives. I'm just saying avoid it where you can. Obviously, be aware of it when you can. But yeah, so definitely it's talking about attracting and repelling. So like I was talking about earlier, try and clean house of the people that are around you that are draining, that don't see you for who you are. Try and use your natural abilities and gifts and talents to create value for others. So one of the ways of doing that is just recognizing and maybe writing down things that you naturally feel like you're good at. And if you feel like, oh no, I'm not good at anything, like I suck, think about stuff that you did when you were younger, stuff that you just really had fun doing. It could be playing soccer, it could be painting rocks, it could be making mud pies. The point is that having fun and doing things that you love, no matter what, is gonna bring value to other people. Whether or not you're inspiring them to just have an idea, to do what they loved to do when they were little, whether or not it's actually something, I don't want to compare it as if like one is professional and one is not professional and one is better, but there's lots of different ways that you can share your gifts with other people. Don't limit yourself to it being a job or it making money for you. Let go of that and just have some fun. And then the Raven came out, and I love the Raven, but let's see what anything pops out. Yeah. Magic. I've had a lot of signs since I've used this deck for crows and ravens. I feel like they've definitely been speaking to me a lot. And I had a hard time when I first started doing tarot. When I first started waking up, I have a lot of ego to work through. I had a lot of, and I still do, a lot of preconceptions, a lot of logic and skepticism and reptilian kind of behavior and thought patterns towards magic. And to me, magic now means letting go of trying to understand and make sense out of things, letting go of the rules, letting go of how things need to happen. The Raven is also a messenger and a carrier of energy. So it is definitely saying to be ready to receive, to call on Raven when you need magic in your life. And we use magic kind of, I think, for a lot of different things. You can see it just in the English language, we use it kind of loosely. Magic can be a person, somebody who brings kind of like a magic energy to them. They are inspiring, they are whimsical, they are faithful, they have a certain mystery to them. They don't allow circumstances to dictate how they feel. They bend rules. They somehow manage to, they call it get lucky. And I don't really believe in that construct of luck in as much as I believe about being able to create your own version of luck. And I feel like that has to do with signs, like the hawk says, that has to do with having the ability to repel and attract the things that you want in your life. That has to do with manifesting, obviously, being able to have fun and letting go of the ego and realizing that you are free to be anybody you want. You can shed all of those old stories about yourself, old stories about you can't do this and you're not good enough and you're not smart enough and you're not good looking enough. Shed those conceptions about who you are. You're not here to stick to the same role. You know, I can tell you myself, I turned 32 today. I had a lot of different jobs. I've had a lot of different beliefs about myself that I thought were going to help me get somewhere, were going to help me stay safe, were going to help me be stable. And as soon as I let them go, I started having a lot more fun. I started feeling a lot more fulfilled. I started feeling a lot more connected with myself. I started feeling a lot less lost, a lot less bored. I started feeling like I didn't have to depend on playing the game, so to speak, everybody else's way in order to get what I want. That I could have magic in my life, that I could call the mystery into my life, and you know what I mean? Because like sometimes, you know, what makes a good movie is the mystery. It's not knowing what's going to happen at the end. It's not knowing how everything will pan out. It's not knowing what people will say to you. It's not trying to assume and put out there that that it's just, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, well, in order to do that, I'd have to do this and this and this and this, and that's just really hard, and the chances of it happening are just like this, and like, it's just not even worth it if I have to do this and this and this, and it's not going to be stable, and there's too many risks. Let go of that. It's a time right now to shed your skin, let go of who you think you are, and have a little fun. So I hope that helps you. I am feeling a little better, obviously. Like I was telling you, I was feeling really restless today. Having a little existential crises, but I hope it helps. And by the way, if anybody on watching this channel is interested in private readings, I'm beginning to offer them now that I've had the opportunity to help get Rainbow Harmony's business up and running. I'm freeing up my time now, so if you're interested, I do private readings for $33. I also do Skypes for $33. My schedule is pretty clear, so if you want to, you can actually just email Rainbow Harmonies. I know most of you guys know her contact information as well, but if you don't, I can always you can just send it straight to my email. You can also comment, and I will post it on the video details below as well. My email is JONATHANHARVEY and the number 22 at Gmail. So I'll write that though down in the details, and if you're interested, just hit me up and I will give you my information. So hope it helps, and you'll have a good night.